Hey guys, welcome to another video. Thanks for joining today. Today I wanted to give my initial thoughts on the Altra Torin 7. Altra is a shoe brand that is known for a few things. One is their foot-shaped toe boxes. They come in 3 different widths. They have a slim fit, which is narrow, that they have on the Mont Blanc and the Riberas and a few other models. They've got the standard fit, which I think is the one that they do the most often. It's kind of their medium fit. It is wider than the majority of shoe brands out there, but it's a nice width that allows most people to have room for their toes to splay. And then they have their original fit that comes in the Lone Peaks and the Olympus, that is their widest fit. They're also known for the zero drop platform that they call balance cushioning now. It has the same stack height in the forefoot as in the heel. In the case of the Torin 7, it is a 30 millimeter stack height of Ego Max foam, which is one of their softer, bouncier foams. They make in the Escalantes and the Lone Peaks, they come with their Ego midsole, which is their first, I think it's a nitrogen infused bouncy foam. They came out with Ego Max, which is a bit plusher feel. I don't think it's quite as bouncy feeling, but it's enough bounce normally to make up for the softness of the foam, so you don't like get lost in it and lose a lot of energy. They're also able to make the stack height higher without adding a lot of weight. So these have the Ego Max. Kind of the history of the Torins. I've owned, I think this will be my 5th pair. I owned like the Ultra 1.5s. Back in those days they came with a EVA midsole, very standard midsole. They were kind of heavy, but they worked real well for me in my first 12-hour race where I was able to go 54 miles in them. So they worked really well for that. Then I've owned the Torin Plush. I think it was version 4.5. It came with a Quantic midsole, which was a improvement in the midsole, and the shoes have gotten lighter over time. Then I've owned the Ultra 5, which was the first one that had the Ego Max midsole. It was a great shoe. I found it extremely comfortable. It had a 28 millimeter stack height. The biggest disadvantage it had is it had a tongue that was pretty sharp that cut into some people's ankles. They came out with the Torin 6. It was still very similar, extremely comfortable. They softened the edge of that tongue so it didn't cause as many issues. And now in the Altra Torin 7, I think they have fixed that. This is now a much softer, plusher tongue. It's very comfortable. The other thing they have changed, a couple other things they've changed in the 7 as opposed to the 6. They changed the shape of the heel cup. They say it fits more people better. I actually found when I tried them on in the store though, I put on the men's size 11.5, which is what I've been wearing in the Torins, and my heel was slipping a little bit. It wasn't real bad. I could have tied the runner's knot, used the extra loop, and I would have had no slipping issue. But I also found that the length of the shoe is now long enough that I was able to go down in size to an 11, and then the slipping was completely gone. So that probably actually saves me a little bit of weight, and I've still got plenty of toe room in the 11s by going down half a size. Your experience may vary, but that's what I found for me. The other major change they did is they added 2 more millimeters of stack height. It's still the same Ego Max foam. That I think has pluses and minuses. For me, they've always been not a real heavy shoe. Like the Torin 6s came in at 9.9 ounces in a men's size 9. I got, in my men's size 11.5, I was only getting a little over 10 ounces, like 10.05. So really good that it only went up like a quarter ounce, or less than a quarter ounce when you went from a men's size 9 to a men's size 11.5. That's pretty impressive. Now, when I go to the Torin 7s, they've actually dropped weight somehow. Even though they added more cushioning, the weight actually went down. It's still a very comfortable upper that breathes well, I think, but the weight went from 9.9 ounces in a men's size 9 to 9.8 ounces in a men's size 9. And me putting these on my scale in a men's size 11, they're coming in at like 9.95. So I'm losing, again, a little over 1/10 of an ounce, and it's not real noticeable. I'm not going to notice the 1/10 of an ounce, but they're not super heavy shoes, especially for the amount of cushion they provide. I will say that because of the way the Ego Max midsole worked, I always found in the Torin 6s that I could use them for pickup, speed work. They weren't my favorite for speed work because it is a very soft foam, but the Ego Max was bouncy enough it would respond, even though it would compress some. It would bounce back well enough that you didn't feel like it was too squishy and you lose too much momentum. The Ego Max still has the same properties, but I'm finding going to the 30mm stack height that I do feel like it's becoming a little too squishy for me to do up-tempo work. So I think maybe they've lost a little bit of versatility by going up 2mm of stack height, for me personally anyway. But I have used the Torins primarily for long run and easy days, and I think adding 2mm more stack height just makes them that much comfortable and better for that. So whereas you might have lost a little versatility, I think for the purpose that I primarily use them for, long runs and easy days, they're even better. Really think the fit is good. It doesn't slip on me. They feel very dialed in. One thing I'm not real impressed with so far is I think the laces are a little stiff. I really can't complain too much. They still tie well, they stay in place well. They've got the little loop to keep them from moving around on you. I'm not really having any issues with them. I just don't really prefer how stiff they are, but not a major issue. This week, I've owned them for about a week. I've put 25 miles on them. I haven't really done a long run. I've mostly been doing easy runs. It has been getting to over 100, 105 every day Fahrenheit this week, and I just haven't felt like running long distances on them. But I have run several times short runs this week on the roads. I've run on the treadmill. I wore them to work one day just to feel them on the concrete for a day, and very comfortable shoes. I'm very happy with them. I think the updates were good on these shoes, and I just wanted to share my experience and my initial thoughts. I will of course come back with later reviews after I get more miles on them and we get a better idea for durability. I'm expecting to be pretty good. My Torin 6s I could still wear. I would say the foam has deadened a little bit over time, but I've got over 400 miles on them. And my plan is now to retire those now that I have the Torin 7s. But I'm expecting similar sort of wear out of these. They still have the same outsole, the same sort of rubber, same type of outsole, the same sort of upper. So very happy with my Torin 7s. Anyway, that's really all I've got for my initial thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, please consider hitting the thumbs up, the like button. If you're interested in any more of my content, please consider subscribing to my channel. And other than that, I hope you're having a great day and keep moving.